Hey guys, this is weird having a microphone. Um, I'm going to talk to you today about my role in fleet telematics and how it surprisingly applies to geography and to the course that you're doing now. So I'll get started. Who am I? So I'm Jackson. I'm a graduate from the University of Southampton, did a BA in geography, and also did the professional geographer. I work for a company called TDS Ultra, who are based in Brighton, so not too far away from here. Went into it straight after I graduated. There you can see my graduation photo, and there's my poster for the talk that I did, the exact same as all of you guys. So, why am I here? The reason I'm here is because I wanted to come back and basically share my experiences from after I left university, how I got a job, how it's going now, and how I'm in this position here. So, go from October 2024, so when I started the professional geographer. I was very behind in my dissertation, and I'd not thought about work at all. Moving through November and January, I was doing the course, I ran my own talk. I started to learn a bit about where I could find jobs, what sort of methods I could use, so websites or the careers team. I was still behind in my dissertation. Then I finished the course, March and April. I was scrolling endlessly on all of these job sites, had no idea what I wanted to do. I was going through all of the things which related to geography and all of the things that I was told to look at, but none of them really applied, and I wasn't really interested in any of them. So then in May, I finally managed to finish my dissertation and really locked down and sort of expanded my horizons and looked at jobs which incorporated skills I had, but not necessarily directly relating to the course. So then in June, I started at TDS. I'm now a data administrator for a tech company, which does not seem like something that geography should lead to. But surprisingly, it does. And a lot of the things that this course teaches you and that university teaches you carry across really quite well. So, July and September, I'm learning a lot. It was intense. I had to jump in straight away with no experience and learn and flat out learn and learn and learn. Quite minimal training because we were already rushed off our feet. But I learned quickly, and I used my own methods, a lot of trial and error, a lot of shadowing to find out what parts of my role I'd be good at. So I started to project these. So things like being able to speak to people, being able to face customers, that was like really, really key and something which the company needed and something which I was happy to do. So eventually I was given my own sole company to manage the data for. And that's now what I'm doing now alongside other companies. I've formed a lot of connections with people all over the globe, and that's pretty cool. And now I can come back here and share my progress, which is great because I'm happy to be back. So, what did the professional geographer help me with? Finding and securing my role was a key thing that it helped with. I knew where to look for jobs. All of the job sites you can get a bit lost in. If you focus down, it's a lot easier to find things that might pique your interest. Knowing the skill sets, things like public speaking, which I practiced on the course, things like videography, things like researching, all of these were things that I could take to my job, which when you're sort of in the course, I felt like I'm just doing this for the course. But then actually it was very, very helpful. Had a wide range of options to explore, multiple different websites, multiple different forms. I went and spoke to Andy Port quite a lot. He helped me over at the careers team at the Student Hub. They're very good, and I recommend going and talking to them if you have no idea what you want to do. And yeah, I had the opportunities to network, all of the careers fairs, all of these talks. I went and spoke to people. I went and got their ideas. Even if I wasn't interested in the talks, even if I wasn't interested in their sector, it was good to see what was available to me. And that was useful. And then the last point there, CV and interview skill refinement. That was key. I got my job now with the CV I made during the professional geographer. And I had a very poor one before. And actually going through that and having workshops to whittle down the unnecessary information was really, really key and made me stand out. And then performing in my role, presentation skills. Public speaking was a big thing I was not too great at. And it really helped. Being able to stand and do these presentations and talk through what I was doing was really useful. Making videos, talking to different professionals, that was really, really key. Because that now means I can work with clients from all over the globe, talk to pretty much anyone and find some sort of common ground with them, which is quite nice. Group projects. All of you have to work with other people, unfortunately, sometimes. But working in your groups is really, really key. The research team, communications team, operations, all of this is extremely, extremely useful because you get to know different people with different skill sets. And that can really, really help when you're in a work environment because everyone will know something different. Everyone's good at something different. It's how you can work together, hone those skills, and then you're more efficient. It's good. And then that last point, reflecting ideas to co-workers. The seminars that you have is good. If you have the opportunity to speak in your seminars, do. If you have the opportunity to reflect your ideas, do, because it'll make the course better. And that's the exact same as a workplace. So, who are my company? Who are TDS Ultra? We're a tech company who specialize in detailed insights into vehicles. So that means we work with a lot of different companies managing their fleets, all of their drivers, their driving behavior, their fuel data, their sustainability, how their vehicles are utilized, all of these different things. And that doesn't sound really like it relates to geography, but actually a large part of what I work on is that sustainability aspect. So reducing carbon emissions and reducing vehicles that are overutilized, spare vehicles, the wastage of fuel, idling. They're key things that help protect the environment and also protect the people around these fleets. And that applies all over the globe from, sort of the US one side all the way to Samoa and the Solomon Islands. So who makes up our team? Got 4 teams. Got the data team, which I'm a part of. We handle all the uploads and the analysis, which you would have already done. We're very front-facing, so we talk to a lot of customers, which sometimes is really great. Sometimes they come up with random requests and we have to really shift our focus to fix whatever's going on. We have our operations team who handle sort of the internal systems within our company and some of the external ones, but they basically make sure the team works. Have our engineering team who are responsible for the sort of background, the coding, the platform. We have a great platform which allows us to show all of these insights all in one place for our customers. And we can tailor that to the different customer. And then account management, who directly face the contacts that we have with these customers, manage their accounts, their finances, and basically make sure they're happy and that their interest is sustained. So who do we work with? These are some of the people we work with. I work primarily with DriveTech and the VUNA, and also their clients as well, who I can't name, unfortunately. But some of these are very big and have massive, massive fleets. DriveTech, one of the companies they work for, has, I think, over about 15,000 vehicles that we work with and track and sort out the fuel for, everything. So, data administration might be for you. As I said, you've already done it. You've had to work with data programs and analysis as part of your courses whilst you're at university. Even if that was something you didn't necessarily enjoy, that's not all there is to it. You get great connections. Meeting these people from all over the globe is really helpful because sometimes you're speaking to extremely high value and highly interesting people. People with connections all around the globe, and you're talking to them about something that you can control, and that's cool. Learn new skills. I was not very good at spreadsheets. I'm now very good at spreadsheets. I was not very good at coding. I'm now pretty good at coding. That's something I'm learning. It's a skill that I can use for the rest of my career, wherever I am at. That's cool. Good causes. You can benefit the planet and people. A lot of what we do prevents a lot of driving accidents. And that's incredibly useful. Incredibly useful for companies because they don't get damage to their vehicles, they don't lose their staff. And great for the staff themselves because it means they regulate their driving and they're better. Every day can be a new challenge. Lots of random requests, spontaneous requests. So yeah, as I said, I work with lots of people from lots of countries. I think I've got all of them there. I don't know. It's close to 100 countries. And I have to communicate with them through different time zones, meetings, languages, customs, ways of life, cultures around safety, all of these things, which you wouldn't necessarily expect when I come and tell you that I work in the tech industry. So yeah, what I do. I look at analysis of vehicles, so utilization, fossil fuels, promoting electric vehicles, advising customers on ways to improve their sustainability, their safety, We've got some very good systems in place which we can now use to directly contact drivers and tell them when they're driving poorly. And that is something that I've now almost become single-handedly in charge of, which is great because it means, I've got this unique selling point and I'm learning a lot, and it's something that's extremely useful on a project that I can mention to people. That's great. And then, yeah, presenting. A lot of what we do is we present the insights that we find, the analysis that we find to our customers or to, people in the wider professional network. Lots of companies need to know what we do. And if we show that we can do what we do well, then we can sell. We can get more people on board. We can grow our team. We can grow as a business. And it's great. Yeah. So they're basically the things I have to deal with: data validation, sustainability, coding, processing, spontaneous requests is the big one because there are a lot of them. Yeah. So why am I showing you this? It's got greater connections to geography than you would expect. My role requires an in-depth knowledge of various geographical principles, including countries, their nuances. So as I said, language, customs, work dynamics, economical limitations. Sometimes you can't collect data from certain places because they don't have the economy in place to set up those systems. Cultural influences. Holidays seem to be a big one. A lot of the time we'll see data discrepancies because of national holidays, which I never would have expected. And then how people cooperate with each other. So globalized relationships, lots of people communicate with each other across different countries. We have suppliers that can range different countries. We've got people who oversee, entire regions of the world who we have to contact and then contact their contacts. And it's a whole globalized network. And political geographies, power dynamics and legal influences. There are lots of legal blockers and things that we can or cannot collect because of the legality of it within certain regions. And this changes. Europe has some pretty strict laws. Other areas of the world, not so much. And then, geographical tools. So mapping softwares I have to use. That's really good for analysis because you can show, where different data sets apply to different areas of the world. Analysis strategies and tools, spreadsheeting, as I said, and coding. So now I'm going to go on to a bit about what you should consider in your position now, based off of my own experiences. So, first one, learn quickly but effectively. When you're learning in a job, most of the time you can be thrown straight into the deep end. And for me, I had no experience, so it was tough. I had training, but there was no substitute for learning just on the job. And the main methods I shadowed people within my company, people who knew more than I did. And I did a lot of trial and error. So I'd practice, and if it failed, I'd go and I'd do it again. And, I was given a lot of things to work with. So a lot of things that I could just practice and practice and practice. And then I went in and I read all of these notes that had been made by some of my coworkers. All of the notes they'd made, they're all now in one place and we can see all of it. So we can learn different bits about different areas of the company and stuff we don't know. And my aim is to learn all of it. Prioritize your strong suits. This was a big one. If you're good at something, flaunt it. When you have the opportunity to do something like public speaking, do it. Showcase your talents. This was a really good thing that helped me in my job. I came in, I was able to do a sort of presentation in front of my colleagues after a couple of months on an area that I'd done really detailed work into. And that was good. And it impressed my management and it was great. It's a really good tool to help you get better at your job and to promote yourself. Find time to work on the things you're not so good at. I was terrible at spreadsheets. Now I'm pretty good. And I just did that by spending my own time doing it, even sometimes away from work. And then take charge of the areas where you've learned a lot. I'm able to join loads of meetings with people, with higher level professionals than my own, purely because I know things about systems they don't know about. And that's a really strong skill set because then you're vital to your company. And it's great. Take your time, don't hesitate. This is mostly with finding a job. Definitely take your time to find a role that suits you. I struggled with this because I couldn't find any that necessarily on the face of it suited me. But if you research areas you're interested in, you might find some work. But if not, if an opportunity comes up and you think, I have some skills that apply to this, I reckon I'd be pretty good at this, don't hesitate. Just go for it. Apply.